Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a closer look at Klaus. This is How Santa Claus Began, so this is book 1, I believe. I got book 2 last year, so just had this on my, I believe, birthday or Christmas list this year to get the first one. This is written by Morrison and drawn fully through by Mora, which I love as an artist. And he'd actually started doing Buffy recently, but only did maybe the first arc, which was kind of disappointing. I would love to get a book where he's just drawing all the way through a full run for like Marvel or DC, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. But great artist overall, love his work, and even if I didn't like Grant Morrison, I would have bought this book just for that. It says on the back here, he's a myth, he's a legend, he's loved worldwide by children and adults alike, but does anyone truly know the origins of Santa Claus? Set in a dark, fantastic past of myth and magic, Klaus tells the story of how Santa Claus came to be. The tale of one man and his wolf against a totalitarian state and the ancient evil that sustains it. Award-winning author Grant Morrison of All-Star Superman and the Multiversity, and artist Mora of Hexed, reinvent and reimagine a classic superhero for the 21st century, drawing on Santa's roots in Viking lore and suburban shamanism, and taking in the creepier side of Christmas and characters like the sinister Krampus. Claus is Santa Claus Year 1, finally answers the burning question, what does Santa Claus do on the other 364 days a year? So let's take a closer look at the book itself, and then we can discuss my thoughts. As with the other Klaus book, this is a really well-built hardcover. This time we've got a more sort of blacky brown look rather than the silver. We've still got a sort of gilded edge, so it's gold all the way around. On the side here we've got Boom, the sort of name of the book in gold, and then the creators. And then we have various quotes on the back along with the synopsis. And this is $34.99 US or $25.99 UK by Boom Studios. If we spread the book out itself, just to show you the spine, it is a sewn spine, which I really like. Even on these smaller books, they spread out really well, and it's just always surprising when you see, DC kind of screw up a spine, because these smaller companies seem to do it perfect every time. So we start with the sort of brown section here, and we've got a little kind of gold bit of Claus himself and his wolf. Got the creators, and then we get kind of chapter splits as we go throughout. With it being a sewn spine, I didn't really have much issues holding the book out. The first few pages, just because of how it joins up, you do have to kind of hold back, but once you get through that, it just sits totally fine. I love the art throughout this book. I wish Mora would do more books throughout, because he's just awesome, and I really can't complain. I also just love when one artist does a book all the way through. It just feels so much more consistent and makes me want to come back for more. It's like watching a movie or TV show. You want it to be the same feel. If they were to have a totally different cast each episode, you'd be kind of screwed in the head trying to kind of keep up with what's going on. And it's a very similar thing if they drastically change the art in something. So I just really enjoy the fact that this is the same consistent art throughout. And yeah, just a great looking book. As I mentioned before, next to no gutter loss, you can almost see the actual stitching in the spine, so it lifts up really well. I'm going to skip over this sort of second half. I don't really want to spoil what's kind of going on there, and we'll have a look at the back. So we've got various covers, and I believe these are alternates by different artists. we've got our creators, and then just another little bit of Klaus sitting on a chimney. A little bird here in the corner. So I like all those little touches, a really good built book overall, and a great addition. So as it states on the back of the book, this is the origin story of Santa Claus, at least for this story. The basic premise, I guess, overall is that he was a good kid in this sort of small town, and he got thrown out for committing some sort of crime or treachery, I forget exactly. And then when he comes back to see how things are kind of getting on, the family that's kind of thrown him out has turned the whole town to this sort of treachery, and they're all trying to basically mine away this area to get some sort of creature out that this bad guy has sort of aligned himself to. But the Santa Claus character doesn't want this, I guess, bad guy to take over, and he wants the kids to still have fun, yet they've decided that in this sort of Festivus season they're no longer allowed to have gifts or fun. We have him kind of struggle as we go throughout the book, trying to essentially bring this fun back and find various ways to do it, and it goes through the different tropes of, like, you know, oh, he has to break in at first, and then, okay, so what's better than breaking in? You can put things down a chimney, you know, and it's kind of fun in that kind of sense. I really like that he's this big, bulky, kind of strong guy doing stuff, and, you know, it makes so much more sense because a fat Santa, no matter how much magic, just never really made sense to me. He needs to be some sort of bulky looking, you know, sort of rusky looking guy. I just think that makes so much more sense. So yeah, I agree with that so much more. And yeah, it's good as far as that's kind of things overall. There is a little bit of that sort of Grant Morrison sort of magic thrown in there. There is this kind of female white fox character, kind of reminds me a little bit of the fox character Apex in the Turtle series, but very sort of like mythological, and later on he kind of gets more of them to be his kind of sled team, and that's just really cool overall. I don't want to spoil any specifics in this book. All I really want to say is that if you like Grant Morrison and you like really good art consistently throughout a book and want to read a fun Santa Claus story, pick this up. I don't think there's going to be pretty much any age group that this is really going to offend. There's nothing that really crosses any major boundaries of kind of like sex or drugs or anything like that. There's a little bit of darkness in there, but I think it's just a fun Grant Morrison take on a Christmas story, and a book that I'm probably going to read every year, kind of coming up to Christmas, now that I've got both of them. I know there is a further book kind of coming out or came out sort of recently, but I could only find issue 1 on the shelves, and it essentially just looked like a calendar of his life and was kind of weird. So I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm going to have to probably look into it a bit further, unless you guys can let me know below what's going on with that further run or single issue or what that's supposed to be. But I would love a further sort of book 3 if they do that down the line as a true story. I don't really want a random calendar or anything. But I love Dan Mora's art, and as I say, I can't wait to see more stuff from him. Off the back of here as well, as I say, it does say that he did the sort of Hexed reboot. That's an omnibus done recently. It was like a soft cover omnibus. I'm probably going to pick that up. Don't know anything much about it, but again, love his art. So if it's a book consistently of his art all the way through, I'll be picking that up. Alright guys, I've rambled on way long enough. I hope you guys have enjoyed this closer look, and I hope you consider picking up the two sort of Klaus, as I call them, or Claus if you want, books from Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. As always, subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to know when these videos are dropping in future. Thanks for all the comments, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.